All right, I think we're about ready to get started here, folks. So welcome to another all-original open mic from Off Square Music. I'm Jeremy Simon. Just a couple of opening remarks here, and we'll get going. And I'll bring up Terry Loncaric, who will be your hostess this evening, and we'll introduce the performers as we go through. We've got a great lineup as usual, but especially, I have to say, tonight, I was really excited about this. Including some folks I haven't had a chance to see for a while, so this will be a lot of fun. Let's see, I'll be back up a little later on to announce some of our upcoming events, but for now, just a couple of notes. We do ask that you please silence your cell phones if you don't mind. We try to create kind of a listening room environment for these and sort of keep the focus on the performers. Those, interruptions and distractions can make it harder, for them. It's already very challenging to be up here on stage, so if you don't mind silencing those phones, that would be great. This open mic is being live streamed to our YouTube channel, so if you're not already subscribed to us on YouTube, please do that. If you just go to YouTube, search for Off Square Music, you'll find our channel there. You can subscribe, and then you'll get notifications every time we go live, which we're doing for all of these open mics now. And then what I do is the day after the event, I'll go in and I'll add in the timestamps for each person who performs, and that'll show up in the description under the video. So there'll be a little link that you can click to go straight to each person's performance, and you can also right-click and then share on that link, and that way if you want to send it to somebody else, when they get that link, it'll take them right to that part in the video for that one person that you want them to see or wanted to share. So you'll find that on our channel. Like, you can go home tonight and it'll already be there, because as soon as we end the live stream, it stays there on our channel, so you don't have to wait for me to do the editing. Let's see, we do appreciate your donations. The box is over there on the table tonight. We do have a suggested $5 donation, which honestly, folks, it really just barely covers costs most nights for these open mics. We do operate as a nonprofit, so we rely on your support, so we do appreciate that. Thank you for helping us keep this going. And speaking of that, we'll be talking about our upcoming New Year's Eve party and fundraiser. Hope to see everyone there. We'll talk more about that later. Tonight we are doing 10 minutes or 2 songs. Sometimes it'll be 15-minute sets or 3 songs for the musicians. It just depends on how many people sign up. So we have a pretty good number of people on the list tonight, so we're doing 10-minute sets tonight. And poets, we ask you to try to keep it a little bit under that. It tends to vary, but 5 to 8 minutes is more typical. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. As usual, we've got Keith Johnson over here handling sound for you tonight. I think it's sounding really good in the room already. Yeah, thank you, Keith. And as I mentioned, your hostess this evening will be Terry Loncaric, and she'll come up and tell you about the first performer.
It's nice to see everybody after the holidays. It's a great place to be, right? All right, our first performer is Archie McDonald, and I think he's a singer-songwriter, I believe.
I need my words, otherwise I'm going to forget. I really enjoy coming here. Stage Left is just a wonderful place, wonderful people, so thank you for having me. I'm going to sing 2 of my originals. This one is called Silent Scream. I wrote this about my father, really, and about me, but after my dad had passed away, I went through his personal effects, and I found hundreds and hundreds of poems, and then I found out he was a published poet. And none of us knew he was a quiet farmer, quiet type. And I remember thinking, you know what, that's really interesting to me, because my dad was always so quiet, and it made me think about my life, and that I should probably start sharing instead of hiding. And so this one's called Silent Scream. Never wanted to be that one to hold in all my dreams. I always wanted to walk alone, singing quietly, I don't see lights. I hold live in this silent scream. I always wanted to raise my voice, as funny as it seems. I never could quite fit that mold of the silent majority. I want to fight what it is I believe. We have the right to question endlessly. Mama, don't you listen to those lies that echo in between. Daddy ain't gonna be the one to wake you from his sleep. Brother, I'll never forget those words that you never said to me. Don't you ever be just like me, live in this silent scream. I don't feel right. So when you can't find those words to say and thoughts are stuck between, never forget you can't go home, living in a silent scream. We just don't know what those words can mean. We have the right to question endlessly. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love you, Dad. And this is another song that I wrote. This one in particular is about an old girlfriend. Let me just say it was my first love. And one night before she was going off to college, she got in a car accident right behind me. And this is kind of a cathartic thing to sing this one because it definitely kind of takes me back. So, but our lives was tore apart after this car accident. She went her separate way. She went out west. I stayed here, raised a family, and then one night I realized that this accident happened no more than like a quarter mile over the hill from where I lived, and I just completely forgot about it. And the reason why is I saw her in a local store. It was in McHenry. And I saw her and I thought, oh my God, that's her. And then all these memories came back and I came home. This is 30 some years later. I was 20 years old at the time when this happened. And I thought, I got to write a song about that. And so that's what I did. This one's called Summer Nights. Making it through the nights, memories take me for a ride on this summer night. I can feel that thought blow through like the swing in your front yard too on this summer night. Review memory of that last smile, laughing eyes and that crooked smile. Oh, that summer night. I'm as cruel as can't forget what I put you through. Blinded eyes and now see it too. On that summer night. 30 years and now I roam through the ashes of the memories known of that summer night. You go west and I'll retreat to this pain and all those memories of all those summer nights. Fuzzy lights in a rearview scene, smoking glass and mud on my knees. Oh, that summer night. Time is cruel and it won't tell, like the road we must know ourselves, like that summer night. Something's changed and I can't tell, were these memories real or was it hell on that summer night? Paths across and never meet, walk alone and we will never speak of that summer night. Goodbye to you. Goodbye to you. Goodbye to you. Thank you, everybody.
And now Deb Glaubke is going to share some poetry.
Gale thinks this next poem is depressing. But Christmas isn't always cheerful for everybody. You know, every single year I don't have to be cheerful. So this year was a different kind of a year than Christmas that I've ever had. So I wrote a poem called A Different Christmas. The room was gray with displeasure. No twinkle lighting the green branches. The angels resting in boxes, their magical energy was missed. No presents bought, cookies not made, or stockings hung. The house was quiet. The night ending as it had begun. Instead of silent night, the TV was on. Well, this was a first. No Christmas. Left in an odd place, a mix of sadness and relief without the warm glow of grace. Others, filled with anxiety over unfinished shopping, race about, tick-tock on the gift-giving clock. Lack of concern about mounting debt with last Christmas yet unpaid, and family dysfunction soon to gather. A cat on my lap, my feet on the hassock. I watch as the world goes crazy with its never enough chatter. How did this start? Where did it go? The spirit of his birth is now just a big show. My unexpected gift on this peaceful night, a thought for me to explore. Maybe lack is better than more. Thank you. See, Gale, they liked it. Okay, I wrote this one this afternoon for Gale for her birthday. It's called Giddy Up, Old Gal. We were tough little hombres. Nobody better draw on these cowgirls. 6 shooters holstered on each hip. Stetson hats low over the brow hardly covered the menacing scowl. Neighborhood boys, the Black Bart gang ran in fear when these tough little hombres were near. Then reining in our ponies, rearing in delight, we rode into the sunset calling, "Hi-ho, Silver!" Dale in Doney, Texas, that is, with Deb 1,206 miles away, a long time ago when children would still play. Happy trails would finally converge, and these 2 old cowgirls eventually merged. Content in the bunkhouse on a cold night, on this, her special day, there is still plenty of fight. Happy birthday, Gale.
And please give a warm welcome. This is his first time here. Jason Costabile. He's a music teacher and he's a performer. I think we're going to enjoy him.
Would you like to sit or stand? Okay. Sure. Right.
Check. It sounds good to me. All right, thank you. Well, hello, everyone. Like Terry said, my name is Jason. I've been writing songs for close to 20 years now, which I know I don't really look old enough to be having done anything for 20 years, but there it is. And like a lot of young people nowadays, we feel the pressures of the world and life just being hard. So a lot of my music is about some of the struggles I've encountered or that young people encounter in general. Songwriting has been a form of therapy for me over the years. So this first one is called Anthem for the Lost. empty promise of the Insta posts, the likes, the comments, the loss of hope that anybody anywhere ever actually cares. It's the screaming void of excess stress when your body aches and begs for rest, when it's a chore just to rot in despair. You can't hide from the beast inside. If comparison will steal my joy, if I only live to be employed, if I never have a moment for me, if I have to borrow, beg, and steal to live a life that's barely real, then was I ever free? Was I ever free? It's longing for a better shot, doing everything right, or so we thought, when my mistakes slipped down the slope. It's thinking we could change our luck, and not knowing how much effort is enough. It's delusional to hold on hope. You can't hide from the beast inside. If comparison will steal my joy, if I only live to be employed, if I never have a moment for me, if I have to borrow, beg, and steal to live a life that's barely real, then was I ever free? Was I ever free? People say it's wrong to yearn for death when the pressures never end, but ghosts are truly free. Can't prescribe their pain away, 'cause phantoms don't feel a thing. I pray someday to be. If comparison will steal my joy, if I only live to be employed, if I never have a moment for me, if I have to borrow, beg, and steal to live a life that's barely real, then was I ever free? Was I ever free? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Similarly, but with a different vibe, this one's also just about, I don't know, struggle, but with a hopeful twinge to it. Just kind of looking for the reassurance that in the dark times, things will get better. So I call this one, Tell Me It'll Get Better. Woke up this morning to realize my phone was unplugged, starting the day at 16%. Got a text, there was fraud on my credit card.
froze it till I get my replacement. Discovered a hole in my brand new shirt. Think I just sat in a pile of dirt. On my way to a job I hate for a little pay. What a great way to start the day. Please tell me things get better. I need something to look forward to. I'm sick of betting on the weather. Lately it's been wrong on the news. Please tell me things get better. My resolve's eroding away. If you tell me it gets better, I'll be inclined to stay. Down at the office, I'm struggling. No one I can approach for support. They only gaslight and dismiss me. You got this, they retort. Back home, my dog is anxious, not sure how to calm him down. He won't take his medications. The outside's quiet, but the inside's loud. And oh, I'm supporting a bridge. Oh, is that a cargo ship? Please tell me things get better. I need something to look forward to. I'm sick of betting on the weather. Lately it's been wrong on the news. Please tell me things get better. My resolve's eroding away. If you tell me it gets better, I'll be inclined to stay. And oh, where's the bridge? And I can only change my perspective so much. Flexibly adapting has been my only crutch. And how long till I realize I'm too big for this glove, too hurt for this love, too much to be enough? Please tell me things get better. I need something to look forward to. I'm sick of betting on the weather. Lately it's been wrong on the news. Please tell me things get better. My resolve's eroding away. If you tell me it gets better, I'll be inclined to stay. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And now one of our regulars, Carol Obertubbesing, is going to share poems about, I guess, seasonal poems about Christmas and New Year's.
No, this one? Okay. Hi. Well, thank you very much, Terry, and thank you to Jeremy, Keith, Andy, and everyone at Off Square Music for giving us this opportunity. Thanks to the Woodstock Opera House staff for being here, and be sure to grab one of their special drinks and tip generously tonight, because it's very nice of people to work during this holiday season. I also want to encourage you to come out to the Off Square Music New Year's Eve event. It's a fundraiser, and it's part of what keeps events like this going. So it's really important that if you come in person, that's great. If you can't, there's a live stream, and be sure to donate. No matter how you come to it, be sure to donate. This organization just does wonderful things for our community, particularly in our music community year-round. So this is your opportunity to say thank you and how much you appreciate this. The first poem I'm going to read was inspired by a holiday concert at my church in Boston, the Paula Center, which happily I was able to attend virtually this year, and also by the filmed concert by Andre Rieu, R-I-E-U, wonderful Dutch conductor and violinist. And he puts on these fantastic concerts in huge places. And there's always some waltz music and people dancing through the aisles. I encourage you to check him out online, Andre Rieu. But anyway, this poem was partly inspired by those two events. Rejoice. The sun, the moon, and the stars, the majestic mountains and the endless ocean, the sound of the not yet frozen brook. Rejoice in the beauty of our universe. The soft purring of the sleepy cat, the warmth of a puppy beside us at night, the sight of a red cardinal in the snow. Rejoice in the wonders of all creatures. The poem that makes us feel we are not alone, the play that helps us see through another's eyes, the painting that inspires reverence and hope. Rejoice in the vitality of the arts. The bells that ring in the town square, the carols that we sing through the night, the call of the trumpet and the beat of the drum. Rejoice in the power of music. The lights that brighten city streets and country roads, the laughs of children as they sleigh in the snowy park, the evenings around the hearth with family and friends. Rejoice in the cheer of the season. The grandmother who makes our favorite cookies, the volunteers who feed the hungry and aid the poor, the caregivers who help and protect. Rejoice in the generosity of humankind. The unexpected call on a cold winter day, the conversations that connect our hearts and minds, the warmth of a friend's embrace. Rejoice in the blessing of friendship. The timeless gifts of those who are no longer with us, the uniqueness of each person in our lives, the light created within each of us. Rejoice in the spirit of peace, love, and hope. Thank you, and this is a poem that I wrote for last New Year's Eve for the Off-Square Music New Year's Eve celebration. I won't be reading it this Tuesday night, so this is your only chance to hear this one. Time Travel, a poem for New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is a time of reflection, looking back and looking forward. This poem draws from the words of writers and philosophers and helps us create our own path to the future. The azure blue sea encircles volcanic isles. Blue and white houses connect sea and sky. This is the land where ancient philosophers dwelt. Socrates said, "Wisdom begins in wonder." The great stone wall winds through the mountains. Limestone karsts rise above the Serpentine River. This is the land where yin and yang rise and fall. Confucius said, "Music is the harmonizer of heaven and earth." The river travels through accordion-filled streets. The grand cathedral towers over the song-filled boats. This is the land of liberty, equality, fraternity. Rousseau said, "The world of reality has its limits. The world of imagination is boundless." The giant clock tolls over the tidal river. Cottages and gardens hide behind stone walls. This is the land of Shakespeare and the Beatles. Russell said, "The good life is one inspired by love and guarded by knowledge." The white marble mausoleum draws visitors from the world far and near. The iconic river flows through mountains and plains. This is the land where tradition and modernity coexist. Gandhi said, "Be the change that you wish to see in the world." The hills and wetlands meander through the towns, Farms and colleges share the roads. This is the land where nature and culture mingle. Dickinson said, "Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul." Skyscrapers sprout on the flat island. Cultures mingle and flourish between rivers and the sea. This is the land of writers, actors, artists, and dancers. Graham said, "You are unique. And if that is not fulfilled, then something has been lost." The poet travels from America to Italy to Ghana. Her characters draw from reality, but are not limited by it. This is the land within our hearts and souls. Angelou said, "A bird doesn't sing because it has an answer. It sings because it has a song." So tonight, we sing our songs. They take us to places that are at once old and new. This is the night when past, present, and future merge. A voice says, "At dawn, be amazed. Begin anew. Follow your dreams." Thank you, and I wish you a happy New Year, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa. Love to all of you.
It's always exciting to see what Sue Rekenthaller comes up with. She's philosopher, poet, storyteller, Sue Rekenthaller.
Thank you, Jeremy. Terry, if I had a nickel for each time I heard someone say something Sue Rekenthaller came up with. I don't have a really big, expanded family. And I recently found out that two of my second cousins, who are twins, one of them has just developed ALS, and his twin has colon and liver cancer. So in honor of them, I am reading a poem that I read a couple of years ago that I wrote for a friend who was dying of cancer. Learning how to die. We spend our entire life acquiring new skills. We walk, we talk, we read, oh, so many things. And yet, all this new knowledge fails us in the end. We remain so fearful, we never speak that one thing, death. No one teaches us how to face death. There is no right or wrong way to prepare. If it is swift, no preparation is needed. We may be given a warning weeks or months ahead, time to map out our journey. We try to keep preparations to a minimum, to not cast a cold shadow over even the smallest joy. Death is unique to each of us. That in itself is a great comfort. Our heart will lead us. We can follow our map in our own fashion and smile when we reach our destination. Thank you. And today I got thinking, I don't even know what, I was watching some black and white show movie on Turner Classic, and everyone's dancing. And I got thinking, we don't dance anymore. I don't know anybody, except for a few people that go out ballroom dancing. No one just goes dancing. So I wrote this poem, Dance With Me, with a little help from Elton, Bob, Van, Johnny, Fred, Ann, Leonard, and Walk the Moon. The natural walk of children is dance. Ballerina, you must have seen her dancing in the sand. Hearing their own music, lovers lean into each other and gently sway. Could I have this dance for the rest of my life? Yes, to the dance beneath the diamond sky with one hand waving free. My darling, it's a marvelous night for a moon dance. Let's dance. Put on your red shoes and dance the blues. Just you and me and the lights down low, slow dancing, swaying to the music. Dance me through the panic till I'm gathered safely in. Dance me to the end of love. Too often we say, I won't dance, don't ask me, my feet won't let me do the things that they should do. But I say, oh, we were bound to be together. Don't you dare look back. Shut up and dance with me. Thank you.
Okay, Johnny Norris is going to perform some great songs.
Check, 1, 2. All sounds good out there, Jeremy? Oh, Keith, okay. I know how I got here. I know where I turned. Some secret road maps get read, then get burned. There's more in the cards, more or less. Yours and mine and anyone's guess. This is not my order. This is what I get. Full plate of sorrow, side of regret. Nothing for something, stress for Here and now, we see them as we want them to be. What was I thinking? What did I say? Wide awake wondering till night turns to day. Why stay silent? Why not express yours and mine and anyone's guess? I know how I got here. I know where I turned. When do I find out which maps get burned? Who holds the diamonds? Who dealt this mess? Yours and mine and anyone's guess. Thank you. That's called Anyone's Guess. A while back, Tom Petty had a song called Into the Great Wide Open. And there was a line in the song about the record label man says, I don't hear a single, which you get a lot from record label people. I thought, wouldn't it be great to write a song called There's No Single on This Record? Imagine reading that on the back of an album cover. But then I thought, well, I could just always write it. So I did. This song's called There's No Single on This Record. There's no needle in this tone arm. There's no vinyl in the sleeve. There's no airplane, no rotation. And the signal's so hard to receive. We made some timeless music sometimes. Now we're stuck for something new. There's no single on this record. And not a single thing I can do. There's no meters in this console. There's no handle on this door. There's no budget for this project. And I know there was one before. We made some timeless music sometimes. We read all the boilerplate too. There's no single on this record, and not a single thing I can do. We both got copies, don't we? We'll keep them on separate shelves. We'll get them down and spin them on a dark gray day and recall how we used to amuse ourselves. There's no teeth to this arrangement. There's no J card for this tape. There's no reason for this session. The cats have been in better shape. We made some timeless music sometimes. Now the deal has fallen through. There's no single on this record, and not a single thing I can do. Thank you very much. I'm Johnny Norris. I appreciate the opportunity to get up here and do a couple for you. Everybody have a safe ride home and a happy new year. We'll see you again soon.
And now, oh, did I lose my sound? And now Carol Alfus is going to share some of her clever, witty, interesting poems. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh. So I just realized I have 3 poems, and they're 3 stories. 2 of them are true. One of them just came out of here. This one is true. It's called Grief and Chile Rellenos. I had spent the day in a stagnant mental fog and was exhausted from inactivity, from indecision, from the weight of solitude around my neck. A knock and the dog barking roused me. At the door stood my neighbor Chuck, a foil-covered plate in his hand. Chiles rellenos, he said. The poblanos are from the garden, and I used my tomatoes in the sauce. He extended the plate toward me. They're still warm. As he smiled and left, I managed to stammer my thanks. At the table, curious and suddenly hungry, I took my first bite and nearly wept. The lightly breaded pepper was mild and sweet, the queso inside delightfully gooey, and the sauce piquant and warm. A gift made with skill and shared with kindness. With each bite, the paralyzing fog of the day lifted, the weight slipped from my neck, and I savored the taste of compassion. Thank you. And this one was when we got to meet Jesse's niece's little baby, 3-month-old, about a month ago. It's called Gideon Awakens. As soon as the baby is in my arms, I begin to sway. A gentle movement like prairie grass in the wind, soft as a sigh, as ancient as maternity. In the boat of my arm, his tiny body tucked under my heart, he drifts off to sleep. I sway on. By and by, he stirs. His brow furrows at the unfamiliar face above him. His eyes brim with tears. A whimper and then a plaintive wail breaks forth, and I quickly hand him to his mother, who, upon receiving her son, begins to sway. Thank you. That's it. This one I made up. But those of us of a certain age remember how Christmas Day was celebrated differently. So this one is called The More Things Change. Okay, so they're watching Elf instead of It's a Wonderful Life. The tree is artificial, the pie is store-bought. The kids are absorbed in something called Minecraft, not a Tinker Toy or a Lionel train in sight. There won't be a sit-down dinner. You'll serve yourself from a row of platters and crock pots, apparently whenever you're hungry. No, this isn't how your family Christmases used to be, or at least how you think they were. And yet, when you walked in the door, oh my,
Those hello hugs felt good, and the smiles were sweet. The hubbub was a bit much from time to time, but on the whole, it was a merry chaos. And you can't remember the last time you laughed so much. And that pie, it was pretty darn tasty. Thank you.
Hidden behind my there. Oh, there isn't. I thought I saw a spare outlet. Okay. Let's let me grab you. Yeah, we got another. As it is every time. We bring it back up again because we'll get through. So lift it up real quick. Oh yeah. There's one back here, Jeremy. Can we get it? Where is it? There's one over here too, I think.
While Max is setting up, I just want to make an announcement. It's been brought to my attention. It's a little bit noisy in the back. Out of respect for the performers, can we kind of keep it down while they're performing so we can all enjoy the performance?
Thank you.
All right, and Keith, he's on the DI right.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, use this one. Watch your foot.
And so now, here's Max Firak.
Thank you. I'm gonna need it way up. Hello, everybody. I'm Max. How you guys doing tonight? So, last time I'm not sure I was very clear of what I was doing. I am here, and I have been going to shows since actually August, telling a story. So I guess that is kind of an open mic thing to do, but I've mixed in songs with it a little bit. And the story I'm telling is a story of my own, actually. And it's a story of the past year for me and the people who changed my life, I think. And I'd like to tell you about them a little bit. So, without further ado, let me get in with the skit. So, a little bit ago, in March, my friend and this other person, you know, she likes to jump around a lot, and she got in with this guy, and he's a little all over the place, you see. But Colin, I think they need a little space. Let's get this started. This first song's called Space. Space is what you
let's sidetrack a bit. I'd like to go a little bit into the future. This is mid-June. Everybody, this is All the Debts I Owe. All the debts I owe. I saved the city tonight, but you weren't looking because we talk every day. God, I wanted it to stay the same, but the debts I owe, they caught up to me, 'cause I took guilt liking you it on back, 'cause I ain't in charge anymore. I know you lost, but I let the debt know you more. All the debts I owe. Oh, 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 Queen of Pretzels. We'll all miss you until we see you next. Just know you are not alone. Just because Woodstock, a little bit ago, it was a long day. I had a sad day. We were at the beach, and my friends had just left, but it was only one. And I was having a pretty rough time that day. And I was with one of my best friends in the entire world. She sat me down, she said, Max, us, your friends, we could love you more than anything you'd ever know. She said, Max, you are worth so much more than you know. Just know, you're not alone. Us the debts I owe, you left at the doorstep. Come get them now, or I'll just have to die with an unpaid debt, knowing I only knew you for 11 months. Please know you're all the debts I owe. 2 days from Christmas Day. My name is Max Firak, and welcome back to the Roses Tour. How do I get? Okay.
thanks to Jeremy and Keith for all they do, the technical part of the program. We couldn't do this without them, so thank you. We'd be sinking if I did the technical part, trust me. So next up is our wonderful Gale Harris, and she's gonna, are you gonna read more than one poem? It says one poem. Oh, she's got one poem.
Well, I can tell you one thing. When you turn as old as I am now, you can say anything and get away with it. And that is the advantage of being older. For example, the 3 frosting carrots on my carrot cake have Peronis. Okay, it's the truth. Go look. This is a poem I have read before, but what the heck? It's the 3rd night of Hanukkah, so this is a Hanukkah poem. When the Romans stormed the temple, they doused the eternal flame, the symbol of God ever present, the symbol of hope in his name. When our fathers reclaimed the temple, the first thing they did was to clean. They trimmed the wick of the holy lamp and lighted the symbol again. But the sacred oil for the lighting was only enough for one night, only enough for a limited time for them to restore hope and light. It took a week to produce the oil, 7 days of ritual, prayer, and toil, but nevertheless, they lit the lamp and began to work in the sun, for the elders knew, as they always do, that a little hope's better than none. But to their amazement, the lamp remained lit. The flame did not flicker or die. For 8 long days, as they pressed the new oil, the steady flame did abide. So what have we learned from that day to this as we kindle our Hanukkah lights? 1 candle each for the 8 sacred days, that 1 day's worth of oil did suffice. Perhaps it is this, that sometimes we find a little of something suffices. A little love in a turbulent time, a little word is the wisest. We live in a time when hope seems to dim, when survival is painful and rough. But let us remember while wringing our hands that a little is sometimes enough. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Gale. Okay, just a couple of quick announcements, then we'll get back to it. A little feedback here. All right, so we mentioned this before, but I think the primary thing I want to talk about is our New Year's Eve party and fundraiser. We're 4 days out here. If you haven't already had a chance to register, please do. That lets us know how many to expect so we can order enough pizza and non-alcoholic champagne for everyone. We're going to be over at the Unity Spiritual Center this year, which is just down the road from here, a couple blocks. And I know it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have pretty much the same format that we did last year. We do have a pretty aggressive fundraising target of $2,500. That's the same as our target was last year, and we did achieve that target thanks to all of your generous support. I hope we can count on everyone to come out this year and help us make another great year of these types of events that we love bringing to you. In 2025, what we're able to do really depends on the kind of support that we get from the community. Yes, and please sign up to perform. So to register, just go to our website, head to offsquaremusic.org. Right on the front page, you'll see the New Year's open mic, and when you click into that, there's a button to register. It's a quick form. It'll take you literally 10 seconds. It's just your name and how many people are coming with you. So do that. And then go to the same website, offsquaremusic.org, and click on Sign Up to Perform in the main menu. and just fill out that form. One of the options that you'll see there is the New Year's Eve open mic. So just check that box and we'll get you into the list. There's plenty of spots available, and it really is a lot of fun. It's going to be basically an extended open mic starting at 8 p.m. going all the way through the new year. We'll have Ashley and Simpson. They were the ones that sort of sang us into the new year last year. They're going to be joining us again to do the same. And we'll have lots of other great performances throughout the evening. So get yourself on the list and get yourself registered. There's no cost to sign up to register. Just show up. We will be, of course, encouraging donations throughout the evening. We'll have our thermometer going so we can see how we're doing, tracking all the donations coming in, both in person as well as through PayPal. We will be live streaming this as well. So, if you can't be here in person, I hope you can. But if you can't, you can just hop onto our YouTube channel and you'll get to live the whole thing live with us. And we'll keep an eye on our YouTube chat and respond to any messages coming in. So that's another option as well. Let's see. Then we got our usual open mics in January. That's going to be on the second Friday, which is January 10th. Will be our regular open mic. Featured performers will be Courtney and Chris. And then our all-original open mic will be on January 24th. That's always the fourth Friday. So second and fourth Fridays, open mics in January. And then we're starting to plan some of those other sort of special events. We're thinking about a first Friday concert series in 2025. We won't be doing that in January, but look for something in February and then going on from there. We're hoping to bring something each month for you guys outside of our open mics. So we've got some great ideas for next year. But that all requires you guys to show up, have a great time with us New Year's Eve, and bring some of your loose change and whatnot to help us achieve our goals. So I want to thank our volunteers. As always, Keith Johnson does a great job for us on sound, and he's doing that tonight for us. Andy Andrick, who always helps us with getting things set up and taken down at the end. At the bar tonight, we have Nate. Please stop by, get yourself a drink and a snack, and tip generously if you haven't had a chance to do that. Again, our donation box up here on the table, $5 suggested donation for tonight. So if you didn't get a chance on the way in, please don't forget on your way out. I think that's about all I got for you. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful holiday season. I hope to see everyone at the New Year's Eve open mic right down the road, Unity Spiritual, 8 p.m. on Tuesday. And with that, Terry, you want to come on up and introduce our next performers? Thanks, everyone.
And now we're going to introduce our favorite husband and wife folk duo, Wattle and Daub.
On the second one, is that plug-in?
It is a plug-in.
Okay, well, go ahead and plug it in.
Okay.
Can you plug it in now? Do you have a place that will make it harder to set it somewhere?
No, I'll just lay it on the floor. It'll be fine. And I got to sit down because I forgot to bring a strap with me for the guitar.
You can use that chair, the tall one?
Yep, that'll be fine. And I'll stand up with it.
Right.
Are you going to stand up, honey?
Yeah, I'll stand up.
Okay. Ooh.
And then you'll give me the chair after you're done, because I'll
Now you plug in your guitar.
Yes.
And are you, you're not playing it.
Do you want?
Use this one.
I will later.
Oh, you will? Yeah.
Well, he's going to play the guitar, and I'm playing the mandolin. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well then,
Well, yeah.
so use this,
Okay.
You'll just stand up and give me the chair, too.
Yep. I'll stand up.
the mandolin.
All right. Yeah, that'll work.
This is weird for me. Sit down. I forgot my strap.
You played this, when we recorded this the other day, you were sitting with it.
Yeah, that's a little bit, yeah. It was different. We just recorded this one last week. This is a brand new one. As we are savoring every last second of our last 24 days of constitutional democracy.
Yep. Who said that? It was somebody at Farm.
It was somebody at Farm said that, yeah. But I'm counting days, right?
Right. You wrote this after the election.
I wrote this on November 8th, if that gives you. It's been raining raining now for some time. The skies have been so gray. I can hear the thunder rumbling many miles away.
This old house has weathered 100 storms before.
There were times when things around this place looked like a goddamn war.
We should have fixed a few things up. Money wasn't there.
And if you think there is a God, then maybe say a prayer.
Looking bad, the devil's coming through,
And all the worries that we had, I think they'll all come true. 'Cause the ones that could have held it shut simply weren't around, and the winds of 1933 just blew the front door down. Thank you. Trade you? Okay, we'll do something a little more hopeful.
Yeah, a little more hope. I wrote this one after the 2016 election, I think it was.
Yeah, go figure.
Go figure.
I need the pick off of there, please.
Oh, where is it? Oh, there it is. If anybody wants nice picks, these are called moose picks. They just stick right on your guitar.
Jeremy?
Except when I drop them.
Oh, I got mad. Yeah, but I came unplugged. I just didn't want to plug it in with that. It's okay?
This start on a C or a G?
Starts on G, C. Tim wrote this song, and he's asking me where.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing half the time, but
Ready?
yeah.
This requires audience participation.
There is goodness and kindness in us all. Now is the time. Do you hear the call? We're all just passing through. One thing you gotta do is spread a little love around. You gotta spread a little love around. These troubled times we're living in, wake up in the morning, start all over again. Open up your heart like you never done before. Tear down all the walls and open all the doors. You gotta spread a little love around. That's it. You gotta spread a little love around. Spread a little love around.
Loving ain't easy, it ain't for sale. Raise a joyful noise, you will not fail. Freedom is a word, it just reminds us. Peace and understanding still can bind us. 'Cause there is goodness and kindness in us all. Now is the time, do you hear the call? We're all just passing through. One thing we gotta do is spread a little love around. You gotta spread a little love around. Let's hear us here in the back there. Spread a little love around. That's it.
We use some high harmony. Spread a little love around. There you go.
There you go.
Spread a little love.
That's it.
around.
Beautiful.
Spread a little love around.
Wake up in
Spread
the
little
morning.
Love around. Spread
Start over
little
again.
love around.
Open up
Spread
your
little
heart
love around.
like you never done
Spread little
before.
love around. Gotta
Tear down all
spread
the
little love
walls.
around.
Kick open all the
Spread little
doors.
love around.
You gotta spread little love around. That's it. Spread little love around. Two more times, folks. Spread little love around. Slow it down now. You gotta spread little love all around.
Listen.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thanks for singing along.
Thanks, Terry. Thanks, Keith. Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, everybody who makes this possible. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Hi, I'm going to start out with a short, really upbeat poem. Okay, it's a little rowdy in the back. Come on now. Come on, listen. Please. All right, this is sparked by a memory, a very warm memory I had of my mother spending one last time with her in midnight mass. And it's called One Last Time. I remember going to midnight mass one last time with you when I was finally old enough to understand your grace and vulnerability and could find comfort in candlelight, Christmas carols, and Catholic mysticism. That's it. The other two are a little bit longer. This one actually got picked up on public radio at Northern Illinois University. They were looking for poems after the election. You know, so many people were feeling that weren't happy with the results or feeling despair and depression and everything. And so I tried to find the silver lining. It's called Awaken. Now is not the time to hibernate, to lose faith, to otherize. Now is the time, not the time to dismiss, to demonize, to drop out. Now is not the time to devalue the power, the beauty of one voice. Now is not the time to disappear inside the distracting echo chamber of dueling truths and noisy chaos. Now is the time to hunker down, to work harder, to listen harder, to find bravery in beliefs, to awaken to the clarity that is now. In this moment, it is time to be the steady North Star, to hold high the principles of justice for all. We, the people, only lose our power if we allow others to unplug it, if we delegate our destinies to political expediency. Let passion and purpose be our guiding mantras during this most challenging of journeys in the history of our planet. This was a different perspective, and it maybe comes from the news person in me. I used to be a reporter. When there was yet another school shooting, I was really moved by the poise and grace of the police chief in Madison, Wisconsin. Another school shooting, the cameras roll. He has to make sense of the senseless, demonstrate eloquence, when all he would really like to do is scream in raw pain at the prospect of facing survivors, a shell-shocked public at another school shooting. Not a single moment to exhale, to shed a tear, even as the death toll keeps rising in real time. He is there to soak up the collective grief, the overwhelming losses of the latest school tragedy. He is there to absorb the anger, the despair, the immensity of everyone's sorrow. He clicks into overdrive because that is what he is expected to do. Where are the prayers and hugs for the compassionate police chief? Where is the comfort for the comforter? A moment of silence, please, for Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes, today's reluctant celebrity. He will eventually go home and collapse into the arms of his wife and children. Then maybe he can cry. Thank you. Next up is our resident storyteller, Mike Preston. He always makes us laugh a lot. Here he is.
Thank you. Just want to say happy birthday, Gale, and just to let you know there's hope for Peyronie's disease. I've heard. I don't know. Anyway, this is a story I call Unfit for Office, and you can read into it whatever you want. When I was in 8th grade, the Catholic school I attended was making efforts to adapt to the changing times and incorporate modern modes of education that would accommodate the flourishing youth movement. So to that end, it was decided that St. Thomas the Apostle School would form a student council that would work in conjunction with the administration to represent the student body. There would be an election held for the offices of president, vice president, and council members. Some people were really excited when they heard about this, but I just kind of shrugged and rolled my eyes. There was nothing about the administration or anyone who would actually work with the administration that interested me. I was what they used to call a bad kid. And by 8th grade, I had established a reputation as a troublemaker who was constantly at war with the nuns. So whatever they were doing, I was against it. But I was also in semi-retirement. I had just recently survived a very serious attempt to expel me, and the only way I was allowed to remain in school and graduate with all my childhood friends was by agreeing to toe the line and quit disrupting the classroom. So I was in the middle of a ceasefire, and when one of my friends said, "Hey, Preston, you should run for president," I just kind of laughed it off. But then a group of us began to discuss it in earnest, as children will often do with a bad idea, and a vague, stupid plan began to take shape. If I were to participate in this school-sponsored activity, it could hardly be categorized as disruptive. After all, it was their idea. And I stood a very good chance of being elected. This was a very small school, and having spent 8 years with all the same people, I was friends with just about everybody, including most of the good kids. But my real popularity was in the disgruntled community. Every student who'd ever been slapped or humiliated by a nun, and there were quite a few, carried a grievance. Now here was their chance to respond. I was surprised to find how much support there was for my candidacy. It seems that some people are willing to forfeit any benefit they might receive from actual representation just to express their contempt for the system. Vengeance, that's all it was. There was no strategy to make things better or move things forward. It was just a recognition of their grievance. And for some people, that's enough. So I gradually began to warm up to the idea. I didn't have any interest in public service, but I did have an interest in stroking my own ego, and I surrounded myself with people who didn't think any farther ahead than I did. We began to discuss ideas that would turn the whole thing into a circus. This was during the period when Richard Nixon was running for re-election to the White House, and his campaign slogan was, "Nixon, now more than ever." So we decided my campaign slogan would be, "Preston, now more than ever." It made no sense, and there was no strategy behind it. It was just a giant middle finger to the status quo. But as it turns out, you don't need a coherent platform or a message of substance to run a successful campaign. All you need is a catchy slogan. You know, maybe something you could put on a hat. So we began to make posters and put them up all around the school, and I can't say for certain that I would have won the election, but there was very clearly a groundswell of enthusiasm. And the administration seemed to think I had a pretty good shot, because one day the school principal, Sister Gertrude Ann, pulled me aside in the lunchroom and explained in no uncertain terms that I would not be allowed to run for student council president. I was a little bit surprised, but I couldn't really ask why not with a straight face. I knew why not. And to be honest, I was kind of relieved. The whole thing was starting to feel like just another homework assignment that I wouldn't bother to finish. But of course, when I talked about it for a long time after that, I would feign an air of righteous indignation over the way I was treated, when in reality, I thought it was pretty cool that they were so threatened by me they had to take me out of the race. That felt like a moral victory. And then somewhere along the line, something funny happened. I grew up. And in some ways, I'm not the same person I was when I was 13 years old. I think that's what they mean by growing up. And while I can still chuckle over most of my childhood antics, I started thinking about some of the other kids in class, you know, the ones who were actually interested in what the teacher had to say, and how annoying it must have been to have to endure my acting out. I even started thinking about some of the teachers, and while I can't defend the physical discipline that bordered on abuse, I can't claim to be an innocent victim either. I used to push the boundaries with people, and when you do that, you will experience consequences. But I was the kind of kid who had to learn things the hard way, and consequences were a necessary part of my development. Consequences are how you learn to stop poking the gorilla, or the nun, same thing. For me, growing up involved people telling me what they weren't going to put up with, whether it was teachers, my parents, bosses, girlfriends, cops, whatever. Somebody always had to draw the line and say, no, this is unacceptable. And I've got a pretty thick skull, so sometimes they had to repeat it. And just to clarify, I do not consider myself a paragon of virtue today, but I can only imagine the asshole I would be if I'd never been held accountable for my behavior. A few examples come to mind. So as much as it pains me to admit it, I am grateful to Sister Gertrude Ann for ending my campaign. With all the crazy memories I have of my tumultuous school years, I'm glad I don't have to live with the memory of ruining the student council. If I had been elected president, it would have been funny for about 5 minutes. I would have made a complete mockery of their entire system. And then what? Just an in-your-face celebration of ignorance. Thank God it was only a student council and nothing more substantial was at stake. Thank you.
And now I'm delighted to bring up on the stage Trace Gamache. She's from Crystal Lake and met her at a neighboring poetry group, and she's mingling with us tonight. Thank you, Trace.
I am really excited. Thank you guys so much. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little nervous. Thank you. I just have 3 poems I'd like to read to you. They are all new. They'll be quick. We're going to tap into our angst here a little bit. Your manic ADHD brain really sounds so insane. Are you sure it's not this? Perhaps it's just that. I'm sure you're just lazy. I'm so sure, in fact, wait, what was I saying? Oh, I love this band that is playing. Hey, so as I was saying that your anxiety, it's probably just fear, I mean really. And that H, such a waste. By the way, have you seen my new hobby? Just between you and me, I'm obsessed, but I'll never be best. Oh, and that D. Hey, don't come in. I'm trying to keep safe from sin, so I isolate. Playing God, I'll rewrite fate. Ugh, now I'm late. How could this happen? Now what could this be? Or is my brain just too so riddled with ADHD? It's the first one, thank you. Okay. Sorry, it seems like they're all so sad, but they're so good. I'm so sorry. I don't have real friends, it seems. It's like nothing of my dreams, or is it? I've slept with nightly terrors of those who's the fairer type comparisons, when in all reality, it's plain to see it's them. Always someone else, and never you. You know it's true. So I'm back in the saddle of questions and battles of who's next, who's best. But it's plain to see that in all of this, not you, not me, just everything in between. And maybe that's the catch, that everything is best, that all the rest is what's left inside that treasure chest, the small parts. No tall tale hearts, but the moments, that's what's most precious. Not the showmance or romance or fake in-betweens. What it means to be real is right here, it seems. Thank you. Okay, so this last one, I had been inspired to sort of explore my comfort zone in writing poetry. And I had been listening to a lot of like slam poets and people that were writing in that sort of form. So I wanted to try my hand at that. Cobwebs in my room, you know, the dust always throws shade at the corners. Oh, but everybody goes, it's normal, see? But it's normalcy I'm seeking in me, and there's patterns in the stains that are left there in rings, and it seems to be saying, break the cycle. Take the mic, yo. Your words, they have weight. So there's no time to wait or play games as the refrain takes aim at the bridge because the repeat can't play, which is what you want anyway. Yet now there's silence, where what should be is on me, and it's screaming so loudly its message gets cloudy, and all I can sing is help, stay. Except it sounds like it's so far away, and the plea gets confused as a challenge. Take a stance on whether you rely or depend on my ego, but now where do we go but down? And the spiral, it sounds like a vacuum with back and forth chatter making less of the matter. You matter. We all do. If you think that's not true, see the sky. It's so big above you, but made of all things that love you. We're connected, see? The stars and the sea and the tides within me are in us, you and I. So I listen to the mountains when they say, see the sky.
She's way taller than I am. Thanks. And now Dorothy's going to come up. Did you know it's your turn? She looks confused. Yeah. Come on, Dorothy. Dorothy is an improviser of song and story, and she's getting ready to come up, I think.
Stand?
Yeah.
We'll have you use the other microphone.
Oh, over here.
That'll be easier.
Well, I don't know what to say. Because I looked at the list for tonight, my name wasn't on it, so I didn't prepare. So you got a different list. It was my email. Anyway, I don't know what I'll do here, but I just want to say something. Sharing some personal things. I'm like knee-deep in grief most of the time, and I think I shouldn't come here and spread that around, but as I'm sitting here, trying not to be so self-absorbed in my own pain, I realize after what I've been hearing and feeling from everyone, everyone's going through a lot right now. And so we try to look at things that can make us happy, something that can be joyful, whatever it is. And that's what I wanted to bring, when I would come here to share. So tonight, I'm gonna look in my book, and I don't know what's gonna come out, but I'm gonna do this a cappella like I always do, and we'll see what happens. I just ate Doritos, so I don't know how that's gonna fare. Anyway, I really appreciate all of you so much. And let's see. See if I can waste my time and find something here that I could do. Or you could just let me sit down. Anyway, I'm going to do this one. I've done it before, and it's popped up here, so this is one of the first, can I take this off of here? I'm used to singing. No, never mind, that's all right. This is one of the first songs that I wrote after years of not writing, and it was written, and people know this story, it was written when we brought my baby grandson home from the hospital after a month of being there. We didn't know if he was going to live. He was born at my home, and he was born almost 2 months early, and grandmas were sitting in the rocking chairs, and he was born right there in my home. And at the time, because he was a midwife baby, he couldn't get any medical help because they said, you had him at home. So we said, oh, okay, well, what do we do about this? So anyway, he ended up in Children's Hospital. So we were all there for a month, and he fought like hell, and he made it, and he brought him home, and I was brushing my teeth the day he came home. And this whole song just downloaded, and I always thought of him as kind of my angel, my muse that got me back into writing and doing things. So I'm going to give this a shot. If I start to cry, I'm sorry, but I'm a crier. So this is about Jasper's song, and some of you know it or have heard. I think a couple of you had. Okay, I'll try to stay in pitch and I'm key. You ride a painted pony way up in the sky. I know 'cause I can see it when I look into your eyes. When I listen to your laughter, see the love in your smile. I can ride your painted pony with you for a while. There's music in there. How can so much beauty be in one little boy? How can one yellow curl fill my heart with such joy? If I held all the stars of heaven in the palm of my hand, you couldn't match the wonder of you, little man. You whirl and you twirl, silent wings passing by. And anyone can see it if they look into your eyes. If they listen to your laughter, see the love in your smile. They can all ride painted ponies with you for a while. I send the love of forever with these words that I sing. And I thank you, sweet Jasper, for the gifts that you bring. as I watch you ride your pony way up in the sky. I thank you, little angel, for teaching me to fly. Saddle up that painted pony, giddy up, ride 'em high. And I'll always be right with you now that I know how to fly. And he is an angel now. He's flying free. So thank you very much. And thank you for putting me on the list.
Thank you. Okay. I love that there's such a diversity of talent here, and we get to the spectrum of everything, which makes poetry and music fascinating to me. All right, next up we have Les Keress. He's our resident beat poet, and he's very witty and clever.
Okay, I think that's good. Yeah. All right. This one's called A New Page of Hope. Downy flakes, blossoming bundles of joy, fumbled into a snowy milkshake caked on glass, doubled in size. Can't shake starry snowflakes that stutter silently into a noiseless drift of more and more downy flakes that rain over the night. Behold, crusted, glittering snow splays of the old renew, snow on snow, lights all that was and will suffice brights. Is it our future? Is it a future blinded by blight? Luck, destiny, choose as you may, the old year pales, snow on snow lights, up the year dying. In the night, I start a new page of hope. Pray I do. Winter snow, rain over the night, bright as a fairy tale, snow white, silver-haired dyed, lights the way with spirit. Snow on snow lights the wise trees, caught in a wintry might of wind hugs, tugged into a fray of stout hearts, rain over the night, over the old, snow on snow, brights up what's right about the night, a new page of hope. Happy New Year. Okay, this one is song lyrics, but I have no music for it. I don't know if I've done it here before or not. It's called Time's Silly Rhyme. And there should be some female background singers, but you'll have to imagine it when I get to the part. Time writes the pages and more in memory, a loose leaf of ill choices made, stored, as if they're stuck on a sunken reef there. The tide rushes in tomorrow, appears as washed up present without notice, and to borrow, he'd borrow Father Time if he could, spent. The executioner laughs, ha ha, time lapse has got you this time, and what's left? A silly rhyme, that's all, a silly rhyme. And here's where the background female singer should come in singing, poor boy, you're going to die. The executioner turned on the switch, thinking that with the hood on, no one would notice. Boy, did he twitch. And his last words were, life's a bitch. And the sign written on the back of the chair read, no trespassing, time. Dylan wrote about it many times, and he never got it right. Time, the thief of time, much like Dylan's times, they are ending what's left. History repeats, knows, a source ain't complete without electroforming what seats the body. God's plan? Simply a Dutch treat. His soul and God, who paid? They'll never meet. The chair accepts it every time. Oh, the mime gestured about end times. In the background, female singers come in again. He turned on the switch, thinking that with the hood on, no one would notice. Boy, did he twitch. And his last words were, life's a bitch. And then his soul went up above the chair that read, no trespassing. The executioner turned off the switch, thinking, it's over. Well, it's not over. Boy, did he twitch. And his last eon itch, a definite, unheard of silence. Oh, my. The chair, the sign, no trespassing. All right. Not exactly a holiday poem, but okay, here's one about being at the dentist. It's called The Cavity Waterloo. In reality, before I entered the dentist's office, I was confident and brave until he smiled and said, open wide. His evil look was enough for my mouth. I grunt, pain alert. He probes, picks, then rasps, and starts a musical drill in agony into rot, killing what's left. Dear teeth, it's the beginning of the end. Bone to dust, snowing inside, a buzz, blizzard of me, feeling jawless. And the dentist says, turn your head, open wider. You can't get away from me. Rocking in his worn-out recliner, it knows pain, molars, numbness, wears thin, nerves, fray, screams, mad, realizing Novocaine ain't doing much for what the hell happened to a tooth chosen by God? Of course it's his fault. Do or die. Oh, ow, damn. A cavity Waterloo full of misty sprays gulped pessimistic gloom. And my tongue, sloppy drunk on nitrous oxide, would scream. What's my mind doing? Pain alert, buzz. I sit in his wicked chair where I just might die, buzz, crack. You can't get away from me, the dentist said. Turn your head, turn. He grins, shit, root canal. My mind hollered, help. That was an old one I found, so I thought, okay, I'll do it. Okay, here's another more. There's no snow, but you're just going to have to imagine it. It's called The Snowman Is Like Me. To be a lamppost is to shine like a dim sunlight glow that says, I'm here in the snow. To be a snowflake, innocent, frosted like a wedding cake, covers December, and the snowman's guiltless pose, generous as a pocket of silence. To be is to be. To be a window turns into a poem of glass, metaphors, exposing bony birds. Oh, a heap of powdery cries of crystal flakes from their lungs, and to think they're related to dinosaurs. Really? Next discovery. I'm happy as a dog in pajamas. A cloud, a cold rabbit across the street watches fat flakes leak. I'm messing up. Watches fat flakes lick leafless limbs, blurred, snow's flawless drift lays deep in the bare sound of wind. Snow blowers stir the air, and the snow, big as white balloons, make me think the snowman is like me. We both wear hats and smile in the hard, dull bitterness of cold and time, age, as we shrink to be. If only the snowman would know what makes snow. I've got a tiny one. Should I? Oh yeah, a short one. Poetry is my inner self without the mask. And nothing matters when I write. I ask, who am I? I lie. Everything matters. And that's what poets do. Lie some more, and change truth in like shoes. My debut, a new poem. You like? That's it.
We do need comic relief, so thank you. Joe Calvillo is coming up. He's the founder of the Paladins of Poetry from Crystal Lake, and he's been really influential in the poetry community, and he's got a lot of great poems, so he's going to share a few. Joe.
Good evening. And thank you for having me here and having us all here. It's such a wonderful community of poets and singers and musicians. Such a beautiful thing to be gathered here in the community on a Friday evening and just enjoying each other. That makes my heart glow. Thank you. A lot of my poetry is really formed in a visual. I'm married to a visual artist. I love visual artwork. And unfortunately, I'm not good with a paintbrush, but I'm pretty good with a pen. Dreams in good form. This shape came upon view, a ship of antiquity, silent as a prayer's felicity, an object appearing new, yet the illusion was untrue, afloat upon an incarnadine sea as the winds wailed against the lee. Euripides scripts tragedies telling of skeletons and scurry, of plays and poetry and degree, schemas of sense of geometry, dreams with Vespertilian wings. The bat in the belfry sings while Euclid's hand defines, conforms and the confines, where universal lines are indistinguished through time, and the good ship hauls away all the rhymes. Now, if you've ever, I don't know if all of you are aware of Neil Tyson deGrasse, but if you listen to some of the stuff he puts out there on YouTube with his friends sitting around talking about all kinds of weird stuff, I enjoy dropping a gummy and taking it all in. This poem came from one of those episodes. A raindrop. What is small wherever ever is? How is it that the universe is found when one assumes the infinite and two, understands the quantum degree that sets the essence of why a single raindrop upon a leaf, images of all things knowable and leap in wonder to the unknowable. In reflection of how one leaf is one of many on a branch, and that each limb is one of many upon a single tree, a tree found among multitudes of trees in the woods, and the woods are many places in a forest. And the one forest is part of many landscapes that sit below mountains of one range and that belt across the highlands that flow across the deltas to find a source, to form a loch, a kettle, a lagoon, a lake of many bodies of life, a tree of life that feeds the open land, that sustains the prairies of grasses, and that form a fjord, an estuary that follows a gravitational course to join into the Gulf that knows the secrets of the deep seas, immense oceans that hide the continent's deepness, that keep hidden the age of the single blue sphere, perceived to be in solitude a lone planet amongst the immense space that forms a universal family. One member planet belonging to the sun's tree, a sun of many suns that create a humble galaxy, the Milky Way, found in a family of clusters of galaxies, and all accounted for within the infinite tree that is found upon a single tree of endless trees, and all it rests within a single spark of the unfathomable. Everything held upon a single leaf, a singularity. Everything one needs to know begins with a single raindrop. The name of this one is A Window's View. Window out, window in, window. What have thee for me? What is it that I may see when standing and looking out the attending panes while the inside idles elder time? What is that unforeseen line that weaves cloth of fine silks with the insulting braids of a rope, twisted and tied tightly to keep hope of dreams abandoned and forgotten? What has this window misbegotten outside on the other side of wanton wonders, pleadings, and poetry readings, asking, does the glass offer wiser headings? Is that frame the reclaim of a poem's place? Where have you been wearing that stilted face? Does the past offer any key to a future race? If you stay within, then will you ever see what holds or means the pauper's decree? One cannot see nor keep a window's view. What have we left that is not old nor new? Is the window a fragment upon a time's queue, reflecting a yearnings of what awaits, of a ruin of great regret that late was fate's hand, that neither opened nor closed the window's view? Window, window in, window out. Thank you.
Okay, now to close out our evening, Judy Fergan, who's going to share some essays tonight, I think, or one essay. And thank you, everyone, for coming out on a very cold Friday night.
This is good. You don't have to move this around for me. It's perfect. This is called Christmas as a Kid. Getting on the Chicago Northwestern train with my mom and going downtown Chicago was the best Christmas gift I ever had. We walked briskly in the frigid air that laced through the long journey to State Street, where Marshall Fields and Carson Peary Scott were located. We found the spot where lockers would keep our coats, hats, and gloves. The escalators helped us maneuver to what shopping or lollygagging we wanted, and if we couldn't find what we were looking for, there were employees that helped us with a smile. Marshall Field still has the Walnut Room, which regaled all who came to lunch, where during the Christmas holidays, an enormous decorated evergreen tree towered above the diners. Both large stores offered the option to send home our parcels at no charge. This was wonderful instead of schlepping them to the rest of the day, and avoided using an extra place to sit. or hoisting them to the overhead loft above our seats in the train. Eventually, UPS would arrive a week or so later to our front door, and we had our gifts and packages. Wrapping those gifts was the next step, and the tape roll was easy to use off the heavy tape dispenser. Once my older brother heard our rotary phone ringing while sneaking out to look at all the presents in the living room. Just as he was passing our parents' bedroom door, which was closed, he answered the phone, which turned out to be an uncle who lived in Florida. Our uncle was so drunk that my brother had no idea who he was on the line. The telephone ringing woke up our dad, and by the time he got to the phone, our Uncle Frank had already hung up. Christmas Eve was exciting as I sang in the church choir in the upper loft. My brother sat with my father until the service was over. My mother sang with the adult choir, and she had a beautiful and strong voice. After the service, we went home and usually had hot chocolate before we all went to bed. Early morning, we found our felt Christmas stockings, one of our own, which usually had a tangerine, a small piece of chocolate in the shape of a Christmas tree. This kept us so busy that our parents could assemble a few more gifts under the tree. I don't remember what my brothers received. I received my first pair of ice skates that were made out of white leather and knee socks to keep me warm for walking to school. The street in the small neighborhood usually froze overnight, and having real skates meant that I could finally go to the ice skating rink in the new shopping center, where I took some lessons, preventing a hard, cold fall. Later on, after breakfast, we opened another gift and shared the gifts that we made at school for our parents. Even though my parents didn't smoke, at school art class, we had pasted a photo of ourselves under a round glass ashtray. The ashtray was for our dad, and our mom received a crocheted pot holder. Both our grandmothers and aunts and uncles lived in Chicago. They rarely came out to visit us, so we drove to see them. When we drove to Chicago, it was normal to stop at the Oasis to use the washrooms. Both of our parents had lost their fathers, so we never had a grandfather. Cherish those who are still here.
Okay, that's going to do it for another all-original open mic. Let's have a round of applause for all of our great performers. Everyone did a great job. And you guys were a really good audience, at least those of you that are still here. So glad you could all be here. It was a really nice time as always. And don't forget to register for our New Year's Eve gathering on Tuesday. If you haven't already done so, just go to offsquaremusic.org, sign up to perform as well through the same website. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you can all make it. Drive safely.